What's up, skate fam? Welcome to Deez Skates. I'm your host, David Loliet. Today, I want to go back to the endless frames. I know I keep talking about them. I made a really long review. If you have not seen that, you really should check it out. There's a lot of information in there. So I'll link it in the description below. You can go check it out first and then come back to this video and you'll have some more context, a better understanding of what exactly these frames are, what they're designed to do, and the different settings that they have available. Now, in that review, I covered two of the endless frames, the Endless80 and the Endless90, and I covered all of the setups except for one. So we went through the 4x80, 4x84, 3x100, and the 4x90, which surprisingly, I got the most amount of questions about the 4x84, even though the 4x90 setup really seems to be the more popular of all of the endless frames so far as I can tell. But what I didn't really get to talk about was the 3x110, and I did not use it very much before I made the review, and I didn't really feel comfortable saying a whole lot about it. But since then, I mean, we got the frames in April, so I've had them since April. It's getting close to the middle of July now. I've had a few months to play around with them, and I especially have been spending time taking on this parking garage that is local to me. It's got, I don't know, 13 stories or so. Good coffee, by the way. You can't have a good discussion about anything without coffee, so. Anyway, I've started to spend some time every weekend going down this garage. And the first few times I went down it with the 3x100, and that was good. And then I went down this garage one Friday night with the 4x90, and I was really stuck on that setup for a while. I probably spent 3 or 4 good sessions running the garage downhill in it, and the amount of stability that I got is really incredible for a rockered setup. I can't stress that enough, that when you get, into high speeds with a rockered setup, it's really hard to maintain any level of stability. Most people will be really afraid to run a rockered setup going downhill, but with this, the rocker it's 1 millimeter, so it's like a half rocker, and the wheelbase is 276 millimeters on the Endless90. So it's a pretty long wheelbase for me, since I have a size 42 European skate. I did a few sessions with the 90 millimeter wheels, and it was really fun and pretty fast. But I got to thinking, I bet I could get a way better top speed out of 3x110. And the 3x110 setup is flat. So wouldn't I have more stability that way? So I've done 3 sessions now, and mind you, these are pretty long sessions. When we skate this garage, we spend anywhere from 3 to 4 hours or so out rolling, and just making run after run after run. And in the last session that I did last night, we actually did some city skating. And so I got to test out some of, the speed that I would get in the city on a flat surface. And that was really, really fun. But mostly, I'm just really stuck on this downhill thing. And the speed that I get with the 3x110 and the stability that I get with it is super incredible. It's it's not like the length of, a 4x110 speed skate frame by any means, but with a high ankle like this, and given the fact that, I'm not going 50 miles an hour down the side of a mountain. We're going rounds in a parking garage where you're constantly turning and going downhill. So you never have the opportunity to get really above about 20 miles an hour or so before you're cutting speed from turning too tight. So these are, they're long enough to give me quite a bit of stability, and at the same time short enough to keep me from having to just take unbelievably wide turns, right? So when we get in a pack and I'm skating with a bunch of longboarders and the other rollerbladers that I skate with, we're all going down together, and we have to account for the fact that, you know, one of us might fall in a turn. So we need realistically, we need quite a bit of agility. And since I'm not going to be going much over 20 miles an hour or so, there's no reason for me to be using just a super long frame that takes so much work from the knees and hips to manipulate. So I feel like this is my kind of my master setup. It's crazy too, because I have not touched any skates, any inline skates anyway, other than these Seb highlights with the endless frames on them since I got the frames, you know. And my Evos have been sitting in the closet for months now, getting dust on them, because I just can't get off of these things. They're so much fun, and they're so fast, and it's truly better than any frame that I have for the Evo. I don't have any Trinity frames that I feel like can really compete with these things. Of course, when the mood dies and I just want to, you know, get back into a little bit of slalom or something where I'm just confined to a small space, or if I were to go to a hockey rink or something like that, a roller hockey rink, something like that, I would probably try to get back on the Evos and get my 4x80 super rocker setup going again. But going through the city, I just feel like since I've started skating the endless frames, when I use, and especially the Endless90, when I use any other skates, it's like I'm skating in mud. You know, I'm working so hard and really going nowhere in comparison. So I know that you're wondering, well, is the Endless80 or the Endless90 your favorite? It's a hard toss-up, right? Because each one has its purpose. But if I were forced to choose, I would probably say the Endless90 is my favorite. I don't have quite the agility in it for certain things, but for the most part, it's just as agile. It's not that much longer. We say 255 millimeters to 276. So there's 21 millimeters. So you have a whole 2.1 centimeters added. That's not even an inch, right? But you really feel it when it comes to stability and control, and especially when it comes to pushing power and just having just that little bit of extra length in your stride that you can get way more speed out of. I did a city run with a bunch of skaters that had 3x125 setups, and I was running my 4x90 rocker and was easily able to keep up with them because, you know, they're rocking these short 3x125 setups where they have like a millimeter of clearance between each wheel. I don't know what the wheelbase is exactly, but it's definitely shorter than my 4x90. And I had no trouble keeping up with these guys and playing around in the city. I'm less likely to trip over things because I have more stability, and it's just a superior frame. I don't know what else to say. It's just a superior frame. Do I recommend the 4x80 or 4x84 really is what I would say for the Endless80, but you know, do I recommend that? Yes, absolutely. And once I get the Endless 90 out of my system, I will probably go back to the Endless 84. Yeah, because I have more drills that I want to work on, you know, and so many people have contacted me since these frames came out, and I haven't had one complaint. I haven't had anybody contact me and tell me, David, these things are terrible. How could you possibly recommend them? No, it's, hey, I saw your review and every experience that I have just perfectly coincides with what you said. I think that they're great frames and I use them all over the place now, and I love both setups, and most people who buy them tell me that they get the Endless 90 setup. And it seems like from watching how they sold out on the website that the 4x90 is most definitely the most popular of all three of the frames. Now, as far as the 100, the Endless 100 goes, I don't know anything about that, but educated guess is to say that if you have a bigger foot, if you have like a size 45 to 47, then you're gonna want the Endless 100 over the Endless 90 because the wheelbase is longer. I don't remember exactly what it is, but you can go to the Endless website and look it up. It's definitely longer. So if you have a bigger foot, right, you're gonna have probably close to the same experience on the Endless 100 that I have in a size 42 on the Endless 90. You actually only get, your wheels are 10 millimeters larger, but half of your radius, right, from the axle to the bottom of the wheel, so that you only have 5 extra millimeters. So you add a half a centimeter of height, you're not even going to notice it. But what you will notice is that you'll have a longer wheelbase and probably better stability, and also a little bit more top speed because you have 100 millimeter instead of 90 millimeter wheels. So if you have a bigger foot, again, the Endless 100 is probably the way to go. I keep telling myself that I have all these other projects to do, and I need to spend more time making some of the quad skate tutorials that I have planned. And I've actually got a video in the works that I have not really worked on as much as I should with the Aussie inline skater, another collaboration, discussing, well, you'll just have to wait and find out. So make sure that you subscribe if you're not subscribed to this channel, so that whenever he and I do complete our collaboration, you'll get a notification and you can come and check it out. And by the way, if this video is helping you, don't forget to scroll down and click the like button, because that helps me, right? It helps me get my content out to other people. So in the end, my conclusion after about 3.5 months on the Endless frames, mainly using the Endless 90, is that I can't get off these things. And I do like my Evo boot a lot more than I like my Seba Highlight. That's a whole other discussion, but that's my experience, that's my opinion. I prefer the Evo boot a lot more over my Seba Highlight, and I'm still using the Seba Highlight every time that I go out, just because I need that 165 mount to use the Endless frames. And I can't get off the Endless frames. I'm having so much fun on them. I guess I don't really have anything else to say about them other than, I'm not the only one that feels this way. And it's clear, like I said, lots of people have messaged me about them. Tons of YouTubers have bought them or been sent frames. Ricardo Lino is selling them out of his wheeladdict.shop website. Bill Stoppard is using them now. Don't take my word for it. Well, I guess you do have to take my word for it unless you're going to buy it. But that was going to be my next suggestion, is that you go buy this frame And I'm not getting paid to say that. I'm not. Endless is not giving me money, and I don't get royalties or anything like that. I was sent these frames, and what can I say? They're great. So again, if you like this video, scroll down, click the like button, and subscribe to Deez Skates so that you can get notified anytime I make new skating tutorials. Actually, I have a quad tutorial coming sometime this month. And again, my collaboration with the Aussie inline skater, that's gonna be fun. So make sure that you're subscribed to Deez Skates. Thank you for coming to have coffee with me today. And I will see you, well, you know when, the next time I lace up.